Hey everyone, I'm Scott, and with me today is Sarah, and we are going to be doing a deep dive into Meta's Orion AR glasses.
Yeah, this is really interesting. Everyone's been sort of glued to their phones for years now, but what if there was a way to have all that digital stuff right in your field of vision, hands-free?
Yeah, and that's exactly what Meta's aiming for with these new glasses.
It's a pretty big leap, for sure.
It is, so to really break this down, we've got articles and firsthand accounts from people who've actually tried out the prototype, the Orion.
That's right.
Welcome to the Special News FreelanceBar podcast, so let's jump right into it.
Okay, let's do it.
I have to admit I'm picturing something super clunky and futuristic.
Yeah.
Like something out of a movie.
Right.
What do these things actually look like?
Well, surprisingly, they're going for a more traditional eyeglasses look.
Really?
Yeah, so bulky black frames, more like your regular specs than, say, those snap spectacles.
Yeah.
But they are noticeable for sure, and at 98 grams, a tad heavier than your average pair.
So not exactly disappearing into the background then.
Not quite, and here's where things get interesting. They actually need a separate wireless compute puck and an EMG wristband to function.
Hold on, a compute puck. What's that about?
Yeah, so think of it as a mini computer you carry around
Okay.
that handles all the heavy lifting for the glasses, the processing, the connectivity.
So not quite the sleek all-in-one AR vision, at least not yet.
True.
Okay.
But the surprising thing is, despite all these extra bits, people who've tried them say the whole system feels pretty comfortable and not intrusive.
Okay, so comfort is key. But how do you actually control these things with a separate computer puck and a wristband?
Right.
Sounds complicated.
It does sound complicated, but actually it's all about being intuitive. You use eye tracking to look at what you want on the AR interface, and then finger tap gestures to select things.
Finger tap gestures like snapping your fingers.
Not quite, more like a gentle tap of your thumb and index finger.
Uh-huh.
And this is where that EMG wristband comes in. It picks up even those tiny muscle movements and translates them into commands.
Wow, that's impressive. A lot more precise than waving your hands around like we see with VR.
For sure.
Okay, so it looks kind of like regular glasses. It's comfy and the controls are super intuitive, but what can you actually do with this thing?
Well, get ready to have your mind blown because the capabilities are pretty amazing. First off, it's packed with Meta's AI features,
Okay.
including image generation.
I can see some fun applications there.
And get this, it can even suggest recipes based on what you have sitting on your kitchen counter.
Wait, what? How does that even work?
So imagine you've got some random ingredients, no clue what to cook.
Right.
You put on these glasses, look at the ingredients, and the AI analyzes them. Boom. Recipe suggestions pop up right in your vision, tailored to what you have on hand. It even projects the steps right onto your wall.
Whoa, that is wild. It's like having a personal chef guiding you.
Right. And it doesn't stop there.
Yeah.
You can also answer video calls, but we're not talking about those grainy webcam things. Think lifelike codec avatar.
Okay.
Meta's super realistic virtual avatar technology.
So I could have a meeting with someone who looks and sounds almost like they're actually in the room with me.
Exactly, straight out of a sci-fi movie.
Wow.
And of course, you've got all the social media stuff, YouTube, Instagram Reels, even dictating messages all through the glasses.
Okay, that might be a bit much. All that stuff right in my face all the time.
Well, remember, it's about augmenting reality, not replacing it. You're still aware of your surroundings, and you choose how much or how little you want to interact with the digital stuff.
Okay, that makes sense. But what about gaming? Meta wouldn't leave that out, right?
Of course not. They showed off some games like Stargazer, where you're piloting a spaceship with your head movements and shooting with those finger tap gestures.
So like a hands-free arcade game in AR.
Uh-huh.
That's pretty cool.
Right. And they also had AR Pong, simple, but it shows how immersive AR gaming can be while still being very social.
Social, how so?
Well, you can play these games without feeling isolated, no motion sickness. You can still chat with people around you.
Right.
It's not like strapping on a VR headset and disappearing into another world.
Yeah. Okay, I'm starting to see how this could be more than just a gimmick.
Right. It's about merging the digital and physical worlds in a seamless way.
I like the sound of that.
Yeah.
But let's talk tech specs for a second. One thing I always wonder about with AR and VR is the field of view.
Absolutely. That's crucial. And the Orion boasts a 70-degree field of view, which is massive, especially compared to something like Snap spectacles at 46 degrees.
70 degrees. Wow, that's wide. What does that mean for the user experience?
So one person who tried it described comfortably viewing 3 windows at once, reels a video call, and messages multitasking like you've never seen before. Imagine having your workspace, your entertainment, and your communications all visible at once without feeling overwhelmed.
That's amazing. But what about the resolution? Is everything crisp and clear?
Well, that's where things get a bit less impressive, at least for now. The current prototype has a resolution of 13 pixels per degree, which is lower than Snap Spectacle's 37.
So things look a bit fuzzy.
There are reports of slightly muted colors and text not being perfectly sharp,
Yeah.
but Meta is working on improving this, and apparently they already have prototypes with double the pixel density.
So there's hope for a sharper, more vibrant AR experience down the line.
Absolutely.
Okay. So we've covered the looks, the controls, what it can do, and even the tech specs. But here's the big question. What does all of this actually mean?
That is the million-dollar question if we zoom out and look at the bigger picture. Meta isn't just trying to create another cool gadget. They're aiming for something much bigger, a future where we're less reliant on our smartphones.
So are these glasses potentially the next evolution of mobile computing?
That's the vision. Imagine a world where you don't need to constantly be pulling out your phone for messages, videos, or even navigation. It's all right there, seamlessly integrated into your everyday life.
That's a pretty radical shift, but I can see the appeal.
Right. No more walking into things while staring at our phones.
Exactly. It's about freeing us from those tiny screens and letting us interact with technology in a more natural way.
That's the idea.
But let's be realistic. These glasses are still early stage, right? We're probably years away from actually seeing them in stores.
Absolutely. And there are a lot of challenges to overcome, not least of which is the cost. The current prototypes cost around $10,000 to make.
Yikes. That's not exactly pocket change.
But remember what Meta did with their Quest VR headsets. The early ones were clunky and expensive, but they kept refining the tech, bringing the costs down, and eventually created a product that is both affordable and popular.
So there's a precedent for this kind of technological evolution.
Exactly. The Orion might seem like a futuristic fantasy right now, but it represents a similar leap forward for AR.
And what about the privacy concerns?
Right.
People are already wary of big tech collecting data, and these glasses are packed with cameras and sensors.
That's a valid concern, and it's something Meta will need to address carefully. They'll need to be open about what data they're collecting, how they're using it, and how they're protecting user privacy.
It's going to be a tricky balance, that's for sure. But if they can get it right, the potential here is huge.
Absolutely. The Orion prototype offers a glimpse into a future where our relationship with technology is more integrated, more immersive, and maybe even more human.
It's a future that's both exciting and a little bit daunting. What do people who have actually tried these things have to say about the experience? Stay tuned, because in part 2, we'll dig into the feedback, the good, the bad, and the potentially transformative.
Welcome back to the deep dive.
So we've talked a lot about the Orion AR glasses, the tech specs, the vision, but now I'm curious, what are people saying who have actually strapped these things on?
Yeah, one of the most common reactions is surprise at how natural the interface feels.
Really? I mean, with all those components and sensors, I'd imagine it being clunky or overwhelming.
Right, you would think so, but that seems to be a misconception. Reviewers keep praising that combo of eye tracking and the finger tap gestures.
You just look at what you want and tap your fingers. It's that simple.
Exactly. People say it becomes second nature, like an extension of their own thoughts.
That's wild. Sounds like Meta has really figured out how to make AR interactions intuitive.
Yeah, it's definitely a big step in that direction. And remember that EMG wristband.
Yeah.
It's playing a key role in making it all feel seamless.
Right, the one that detects the tiniest muscle movements. I have to admit, I was a bit skeptical at first, but it sounds like it's working amazingly well.
It really is. It's another example of Meta pushing the boundaries of human-computer interaction. They've been working on this wristband tech for years, and it seems to be paying off.
So the controls are intuitive, but what about the actual AR experiences? Are they living up to the hype?
Well, it's a bit subjective. Some reviewers were totally blown away by the potential, saying the experiences were immersive and engaging.
Do you have any specific examples?
Yeah, so one reviewer talked about watching a YouTube video while cooking dinner. The video was like a floating window right above their counter. They could glance up, follow the recipe, never miss a beat.
That's pretty cool, like a personal heads-up display for your kitchen.
Exactly. Another reviewer described using the glasses to navigate a new city with directions appearing like arrows right on their real-world view.
No more getting lost staring at your phone. I like it.
It's all about integrating digital information seamlessly into your surroundings.
Sounds super convenient. But what about the people who weren't as impressed? What were they saying?
Well, the resolution seems to be a common gripe. Remember, it's only 13 pixels per degree right now, which isn't exactly razor sharp.
So things look a bit pixelated or grainy.
Some reviewers said the text was a bit fuzzy and the colors were slightly muted.
That's understandable. It's still early days for
Mm.
AR tech, and display resolution is a tough nut to crack.
Absolutely, but Meta is aware of this, and they're actively working on it. They say they've already got prototypes with double the pixel density.
That's encouraging. I bet once they bump that resolution up, these AR experiences will become even more incredible.
For sure, resolution is key for immersion. But there's another aspect of the AR experience that's worth considering: the social implications.
What do you mean by that?
Well, these glasses are designed to be worn in public, which raises questions about how they'll affect our social interactions.
I can see that. Imagine walking down the street and everyone's wearing these glasses, lost in their own digital world.
Right. Will it lead to more isolation? Will we be so caught up in our virtual experiences that we forget to connect with the people around us?
Those are valid concerns.
Mm.
It reminds me of the early days of smartphones when everyone was glued to their screens, oblivious to the world.
Exactly. And we're still dealing with the social and psychological effects of that technology. So it's crucial to think critically about the potential downsides of AR as well.
Absolutely. We want technology to enhance our lives, not detract from them.
That's the key. It's not about replacing human connection. It's about finding ways to augment and enrich it.
So how do we strike that balance? How do we prevent AR from becoming another isolating force?
Well, it starts with thoughtful design.
Hmm.
Meta needs to create experiences that encourage social interaction.
Can you give an example?
Yeah, think about AR games that require people to collaborate in the real world, or AR apps that connect people who share similar interests.
So instead of isolating us, AR could actually bring people together.
Exactly. It all comes down to how we choose to use this technology.
It's a powerful reminder that technology is a tool, and we have the power to shape how it's used.
Absolutely. We decide whether AR becomes a force for good or for bad in our society.
That's a responsibility we can't take lightly. So we've talked about user experiences, technical challenges, and social implications. But what about the bigger picture? Where does Orion fit into Meta's overall strategy?
Well, Meta is going all in on the metaverse, this interconnected network of virtual worlds.
Right, that's been their big push lately.
And they see AR as a key bridge between the physical world and the metaverse.
How so?
Imagine using these glasses to overlay digital objects and experiences onto your real world. You could be interacting with virtual characters, exploring virtual spaces, attending virtual events, all while still being present in your physical surroundings.
So it's a way of blending the virtual and the real seamlessly.
Exactly, and that's why Meta's investing so heavily in IR. They see it as the key to unlocking the metaverse's full potential.
But isn't that vision still a long way off?
It is, the technology is still early, and there are lots of challenges: the cost, the resolution, the social implications. We've talked about them all.
Right.
But Meta is committed to this vision, and they're putting billions into making it happen.
So what does this mean for the average person? Should we all be running out to buy AR glasses right now?
Not quite. The Orion is still very much a work in progress. It's not meant for consumers just yet.
So it's more of a glimpse into the future than a present-day reality.
That's a good way to put it, but it's a glimpse worth paying attention to. AR has the power to fundamentally change how we live, work, and interact with the world around us.
It's exciting and a little scary at the same time to really understand where all of this might be headed. Let's hear what the experts are saying about the future of AR. Stay tuned for the final part of our deep dive. Welcome back to the Deep Dive. We've been exploring Meta's Orion AR glasses, what they can do, how they work, the potential upsides and downsides.
Yeah.
But let's shift gears a bit and look ahead. What are the experts saying about the future of AR? Is this a fad, or is it going to change the world?
Well, there's definitely a buzz in the air. A lot of people are saying that, AR is still in its early stages, but it has the potential to completely revolutionize many aspects of our lives.
So not just a cool gadget, then?
It's looking like much more than that one area that keeps coming up is the potential for AR to transform the workplace.
Okay, I'm intrigued. How so?
Imagine architects being able to walk through virtual models of buildings before they even break ground, surgeons overlaying patient data right onto their field of vision during an operation, mechanics with real-time repair instructions projected right onto the equipment they're fixing.
Wow, that's next level. It's like those sci-fi movies where they have those holographic displays.
Exactly. AR could give workers instant access to information, guidance, and collaboration tools. It could make so many jobs more efficient and productive.
It sounds like a game changer, especially for jobs that are very hands-on.
Absolutely. But it goes beyond just improving existing jobs. Experts believe that AR could also create entirely new industries and career paths we haven't even thought of yet.
Like what?
Well, think about it. Someone has to develop all these amazing AR applications. We'll need skilled designers, programmers, content creators to build those immersive experiences.
It's like the early days of the internet or mobile apps,
Yeah,
the whole new world of opportunities opening up.
exactly. And then there's education. AR could transform how we learn.
How do you see that playing out?
Picture students learning about history by virtually walking through ancient Rome, or studying anatomy by interacting with a holographic human body.
So no more boring textbooks.
Mhm.
It's like bringing those illustrations to life.
Right. AR could make learning so much more engaging, interactive, and effective.
And it's not just about schools, right? Think about learning new skills in our everyday lives.
Exactly. Imagine learning to play an instrument with virtual guidance on the keys, or mastering a new recipe with instructions right there on your countertop.
It's like having a personal tutor available at any time. That's pretty incredible.
It really is. AR could democratize access to knowledge and expertise in ways we can't even fully imagine yet.
Okay, all of this sounds amazing, but we have to talk about the potential downsides as well. What are some of the concerns experts are raising about AR?
I think the big one is privacy.
Hmm.
As AR glasses become more widespread, there will be a huge increase in the amount of data collected about our movements, behaviors, and interactions.
Like having a camera following you everywhere, recording everything you do.
Yeah, and that's a real concern that needs to be addressed head on. We need strong regulations and safeguards in place to protect individual privacy in the age of AR.
Absolutely. What else are the experts worried about?
Another concern is that AR could worsen existing social inequalities.
How so?
Well, if access to AR technology is unevenly distributed, it could widen the gap between the haves and have-nots.
Like we see with so many new technologies, it benefits the privileged few while others get left behind.
Exactly. We need to make sure that AR is developed and used in a way that benefits everyone, not just a select group.
So inclusivity and accessibility need to be priorities from the start. Are there any other concerns we should be thinking about?
Well, there's also the potential for AR to be misused. It could be used to manipulate or deceive people.
Are we talking deep fakes being projected into our real-world vision that sounds straight out of a dystopian sci-fi film?
Exactly. We need to be aware of how AR could be weaponized and develop strategies to prevent that from happening.
So it sounds like the future of AR is a bit of a mixed bag. Incredible potential, but also real risks that we need to address.
That's a good way to put it. But I think the important thing to remember is that the future of AR isn't set in stone. We have a say in how it unfolds.
It's not just something that happens to us. We have the power to shape how it develops.
Exactly. Our choices, the policies we put in place, our vision for the role of technology, all of that will determine the future of AR. And that's why it's so important to have these conversations, to explore the complexities and to really think about the future we want to create.
I completely agree. This has been an incredibly insightful deep dive into AR and what it might hold for us. Thanks for joining me today, Sarah.
That's all for now. Remember to follow us on YouTube and ORX.com for hourly news updates. Stay connected.